Okay, welcome to the live stream of my podcast, The Colors of Womanhood. Welcome to the listeners who are listening to the replay. Today I'm joined by Sarah Smutney because our podcast, The Becoming of an Intuitive Woman, has gone live today. Just one kind of practical note, where I am in Tanzania, there's a huge storm at the moment, so it might be able that my internet connection will disrupt. So we're just going to dive in quickly. Sarah, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me.
Yes, I love that podcast conversation. And I mean, you're a holistic health, nutritional health coach. And we dived into gut health. We talked about intuition, which has become really big for you. So we're just going to highlight a few things. Like this week for myself, and it might have been kind of just synchronized to this podcast release, but I think my belly was all of a sudden bigger, and I'm not sure completely if it's bloating. Can you just explain a little bit more about what bloating is and how you notice really that you're bloated, and where does it come from? And also because I think within your community, you work quite a lot with women living as expats, if there is a bigger sensitivity for the digestion.
First about your question, what bloating is, or if you have bloating or not, or if it's just an occasional thing. So first of all, you can check, like if somebody who's listening now is like questioning, do you have bloating or not? You can check if it's recurring, if it's more like every second day or every morning, every evening. So if it's something chronic, then you can always say that there's something happening. Basically, that you have some kind of bloating issue, and also if you have pain, like when you really feel like that there's kind of a pressure, in your trousers, for example, that you cannot close properly anymore the trousers, and you feel really a strong pressure, and you really feel that there's gas in your stomach, and also, because some women they think that they're just overweight, but often it's really like around the belly area, but often it's really a lot of water retention and bloating. I see that also a lot with my clients. After, for example, a lot of them, I put them on an elimination diet in the beginning to check if they have food sensitivities, and a lot of them actually have. They're not directly, how do you say the word, not intolerant, but allergic, that's the word. They're not directly allergic, but a lot of them are sensitive. So yeah, so directly I see like a crazy deep bloat, deep puff in the face, much thinner wrist and belly, without even losing weight, just losing water and much less bloat. So that's already a big one. And so nice to see directly in the beginning of the journey with the women that they feel so much better and so much more light, So yeah, that if I was you and you think you have or you feel that you have chronic bloating, the first thing I would do is see if you have some trigger foods. And then, of course, if you can exclude that, then I would go deeper, like about if you have IBS, hormonal disruption, imbalances, etc., etc. So there's many different. It's like an ecosystem. The body, it can also have different. It can have many different links. It cannot be only one thing. For example, it cannot sometimes also with one client be only the intolerance. Can be on top. That person has hormonal imbalances, on top a lot of stress. Because if you have a lot of stress, your gut function goes down and you digest less good, let's say. And then you have much more gas and bloating. So that's why stress is also a very, very big one. I think I also mentioned that in the podcast, if I remember well. Yeah.
And
the bloating.
Yes. So do you notice, because I recently wrote a blog about that, digesting life abroad. That's obviously also emotionally, it's already what you touch upon. But do you notice, because I think you work with quite a lot of women as well who living in different countries, who live the expat life, do you notice that they have a particular sensitivity?
I cannot really compare it, because I didn't. I also worked with some local French women, also some Germans who live in their country, but a lot with expats. And there is a pattern, especially at least with the people I work with, and it's a lot with emotional baggage. Has a lot linked to emotional baggage, because a lot of these women follow their husbands a lot. At least what I see, and that comes with a lot of let's say also difficult times, a lot of questioning, stress, dependence, relationship issues, etc. And that, as I already mentioned before, stress, emotions can have a really big effect on the gut function. And also another one is changing of food habits, because I had one client, she came from UK, and she came to France because I'm living in France, and all the baguette and all the so much temptations. She gained so much weight, and she lost completely her way of eating, and we had to really work a while to make her find that balance again and see that she doesn't need to be restricted, and still live the French lifestyle, but of course then with a less bloated belly, and finding basically, it's all about balance.
Okay. Then in the podcast conversation, I remember that you mentioned, because you basically grew up always being bloated without knowing it, and that your parents actually said that's part of you.
Yeah.
So when you started this whole discovery journey, how did they respond to that?
How did they respond to that?
Yeah, because they've always thought that it was just part of you, whereas,
yes, they, also my mother-in-law, basically the thing is, by showing them the new me, because then they saw the difference, and they also saw the difference in my energy level. They were, of course, happily surprised about this new Sarah they didn't know before. So, and then they couldn't imagine anymore how I was before, because they were like, this new Sarah, I like that, we like that. And then they were much more understanding after seeing my transformation. And but no, I have to say about the bloating, yes, but they were not so happy about my food changes, because in the beginning I was quite fanatic. That has changed. I found also my balance. It's all part of the process. And I didn't eat that. I didn't eat that. I was in this kind of experimentation phase, and they were not a big fan of that, and they had to adjust. But now that they've seen me enjoy life, feel good, enjoying food a lot, they got really inspired. And my mother even changed some stuff, like some habits in her own kitchen, and I'm really happy to see that I could inspire them finally. It took a while.
Have they ever felt guilty or not?
No.
No, okay.
No, I think they didn't think that far.
No, okay, good. Okay, one last thing, because we're almost in the 10 minutes. You spoke briefly about Kundalini Yoga, but you've also said, I think it's coincides as well, how your intuition has become much stronger. Can you talk a little bit how Kundalini Yoga has probably stimulated that?
Kundalini Yoga, I was introduced by it by a friend who is, I think I'm now 45. She was is 3 years older than me, and she looked like a goddess, and still looks like a goddess, a beautiful woman. And I was very, very inspired by her energy, that light. And when I learned that she's doing Kundalini Yoga, of course, I was I was very intrigued by these practices. And I saw that it's very modern, actually. That it's not like that you have to, I don't know. I imagined it always, because it crossed my path before, and I always imagined it a little bit, I don't know, too much, a bit freaky almost. I don't know. I had this negative associations with it. But since I met Steffi, she's called, I was very inspired, and I tried it, and it is beautiful. I did even a Kundalini Yoga coaching with a life coach from Australia who works really deeply with Kundalini yoga to basically bring you in touch again with your intuition. And that was very powerful. I did that for, I think it was 3 months, intensively working with her and learning deeply about Kundalini yoga, practicing every day. And since then, and I also had a very good friend who's an astrologer and also discovered Kundalini yoga at the same time as me. She's also living in Australia, and we kind of fired each other up, about this, and she made also very powerful transformation, changed her whole life. Yeah, it's very. I can really, tell it to everyone. Try really Kundalini yoga for yourself, and even you don't have to go to the studio. Just do it at home, 5 minutes in the morning. One kriya. Find one kriya. I have the sun kriya I do in the morning, and it's really life changing to do that every morning because it really anchors you, and it brings that fire up your spine, and it's just really a really beautiful self-care practice. I enjoy a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. This was again, very inspiring. So for everyone, the podcast episode is now live on my Spotify, on my YouTube channel, Design in Yoga. It's called The Becoming of an Intuitive Woman, Gut, Grace, and the Quiet Power of Choice. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye.